We are going to move on to our first afternoon panel about umpiring. Joining us is Perry Barber, longtime umpire, inaugural winner of the Dorothy Seymour Mills Lifetime Achievement Award, recent inductee of the New York State Baseball Hall of Fame, board member for the IWBC, and an advisor for Baseball for All. We are also joined by Sophiyah Liu, who is the first Taiwanese woman to become an international baseball umpire. She has published 5 books about her experiences and also worked as an interpreter for the New York Yankees and Australian Nationals. And we're also happy to have Alessia Cicconi, an umpire from Italy. So ladies, welcome, and Perry, I will turn it over to you. I think you're muted, Perry.
How's that? Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, good. So thank you, Jessica and Leslie and Kat and Saber and everybody. I got my Women in Baseball mug and my Saber drinking vessel here. So everybody enjoy this, because Alessia and Sophiyah are 2 of the most employed and desired international umpires. They are always running off to tournaments overseas. Alessia just got back from Mexico, so she's on a different time zone completely. And it is midnight in Taiwan, where Sophiyah is. So thank you for staying up late past the witching hours, Sophiyah. So now, because this conference is focused on the ties between Title IX and the forward movement in women's baseball, also in umpiring, women and umpiring, I just would like to remind everybody that Title IX, the impact of Title IX just can't be overestimated. I mean, it has astronomically increased the number of women participating in sports at every level, including professional. Because from the movement to get amateur sports in college and high school more accepting and embracing of women in providing not just opportunities, but facilities and uniforms and, basic needs, to start a women's sports movement that could thrive and survive. It took a lot of hard work on a lot of unknown people. And one of them was Patsy Mink, who I like to mention. The Title IX Education Act was actually renamed the Patsy Mink Act after she died in 2002, I think it was. So that's actually what it is now, the Patsy Mink Education Acts. And the focus was always on academics, on education for women. And the sports aspect came about as just sort of a wonderful parallel universe to that. And its history has just been so fraught and so interesting, and has led to the 2 of you being here, Alessia and Sophiyah, and in many ways to me being here as well, because even though I graduated high school the year before Title IX went into effect. And so basically in private school in New York, where I grew up, sports for girls were very limited. We used to take a bus once a week down Lexington Avenue to the YWCA and play basketball, where only 2 players could cross the center line. I think it was a very rudimentary, very limited. But now, of course, there are so many opportunities and so many sports for women, and they're just showcases for what earlier presentations point out, that the differences, hormonally and emotionally and even skeletally and muscle wise are not that great as to give anybody any rational reason to exclude women from playing sports, either with or against men or other women or trans athletes or anything like that. So anyway, all of that being said, thank you, Alessia and Sophia. You are both so accomplished, and I admire you so much, and I'm lucky enough to have worked with both of you in overseas tournaments. Well, actually, Alessia, I worked with you here in the United States in 2018 at the Women's World Cup in Florida, where you also were, Sophia. And if you want to know about a gamer, Sophia fell the night before the tournament began and did not realize that she had broken her arm. She thought, and kept telling everybody, oh, it's just a sprain. And we knew she was in terrible pain, but she waited until the end of the tournament to get it completely checked out, find out it was broken, and then she had surgery later that year. So that is how dedicated and immune to pain women can be when we focus our eyes on getting something done. So, Alessia, I know you are very academically pedigreed. Could you give us some idea of your background and your accomplishments in the academic world and how that sort of runs parallel to what you are doing in the world of umpiring and baseball?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. In Italy is afternoon now, and thanks to Perry that is inviting me in this conference. And I want to apologize for my English. Sometimes maybe I can use an inappropriate word, but Perry, please stop me if this will happen. And if you have any question, any doubt about what I just said, please feel free to ask. So as a job, right now, I'm a principal of a school. So I was science teacher before, and I worked also at the university for a while. And I'm marine biologist as a study, and I have a PhD in health science. I had the chance to work at the Ohio State University. If you know the Ohio State University, there is a research center. The name is Bird Polar and Climate Research Center. It's very important in the world of climate studies. And I had the chance to work there for almost 1 year. So this is my academic background. And okay, so baseball in Italy is not professional. So it's not professional sport. It's considered a minor sport, of course, because in Italy we have soccer is the principal sport. Perry, am I understandable?
Oh, yes. Yeah, thank you very
Okay.
much. No, your English is very good, Alessia. Please do not apologize or worry about it. If anybody has any difficulty, there is a transcript and there will also be an archive of this video. Okay. So please just feel free to express yourself. And I think you're wonderful. And, hey, you are multilingual. I'm only sort of,
okay.
I speak a couple of languages very, very badly, but you speak English very well, and so does Sophia. So we're all with you. So thank you.
Thanks, Perry. I learned English when I spent my time at the Ohio State University. Since at school I studied French, so
me too.
I learned when I was already old, not young.
Okay.
English. So, by the way, so I was saying that in Italy, baseball is not professional, so it's considered a minor sport. So in some parts of Italy, it's not even played. We call in it's spot sport. In some part of Italy is played, in some part not. So I was lucky to met baseball in my life, because sometimes people don't know baseball at all. we don't have the chance to watch baseball at the TV. Of course, if you can buy some games in internet, but if you have TV, we only see soccer, maybe basketball, sometimes tennis, you know, some other major sport in Italy. So it's kind of passion, it's a passion for me, baseball. I can do as, you know, as a hobby actually, but I had the chance to be an international umpire. So since 2016, I had the chance to participate to the Women Baseball World Cup in South Korea. And this is the first time I met Sophiyah too. Hi, Sophiyah, very nice to meet you here. And then I met her again in Florida for always for the Women Baseball World Cup. And she was a legend, actually, as you said, because she broke the leg and she worked as well in the field.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Sophiyah, besides being tough as nails, you work with animals in some way?
Pardon?
Do you work with animals in some way? I always see pictures of dogs on your
she was a stray dog and my family adopted her. So she's very popular now in Taipei. Yeah.
Oh, so not only are you brilliant and accomplished, you rescue dogs. Okay. So that's why you are a legend. So now would you give us a little insight into the beginnings of your love for baseball? Because as it is with Alessia, Taiwan is an island and there are not that many opportunities to play baseball because it is not a major sport. So how did you manage to learn baseball and become an umpire with so few opportunities?
Well, thanks. First of all, I would like to thank all of you again, because it's my great honor and pleasure to participate in the conference, because I love baseball so much, but I still have to very struggle in Taiwan. So I'm very willing to participate in any kind of baseball event, even my arm broken. Yeah. So, and yeah, and compared to Italy, I'm not so sure it is lucky or unfortunately, because in Taiwan, the baseball is the most popular sports in Taiwan. And we have the professional league. And so
that's right. You do.
Yeah, so if almost everyone knows something about baseball, and we are very proud that our kids play baseball. But most of the time we talking about boys. So I play baseball when I was very little. My father took me to the ball game, so just become the baseball fan. And I try to be a volunteer for Little League, and most of the time I was just a babysit. And when we go to play the tournaments, and you know the umpire sucks, so I was yelling at them. So I think I can do much better than you. So then I choose to become the baseball umpire. And that is very huge difficult for me in Taiwan, because since Taiwan is with a very long history in baseball, because you know Taiwan is an island and we was colonized by Japanese and then China. KMT party before. So baseball is very meaningful sports for Taiwanese, because that is the only fair game when we face the colonized by Japanese. So we really care about this game, you know. So when I was little, when the kids play women's sports, you know, it's literally this kids game. But you know what? People wake the whole island walk out. We don't sleep. We just cheer out for our boys team. And as long as some Taiwanese player in Major League, like Chen Ming in New York Yankees, and when he play the date, our stock will go high, and some club we suspended some class, just watch it again, even in the school. So we are very crazy about this game. But since people are so crazy about the baseball, and also we have with a very long history, so we have a lot of tradition. So it's very difficult for women like me to participate in baseball. So just like I shared last year, and also you can see many interviews about my old story that I was forbidden to touch the ball, get in the ball game, something like that. And things is much better right now. Yeah, but still I cannot get I still cannot get good along with some umpires in Taiwan, because they think I'm too show off. Yeah, you know. So
yeah, we're always
yeah.
to this or not enough that.
because people say I'm taking advantage because of my gender. Yeah, so that's why I got so many spotlights.
Taking advantage. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not that really good, but
You're playing the gender card. Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I understand. Yeah, umpires are traditionally supposed to remain in the shadows. We're not supposed to flaunt ourselves out there, and that's true. But because we as women are in the unique position of being examples for other women to see, to draw them to the diamond, I've always felt that we should make a joyful noise and let people know we're here and we love this. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Sophia. Very important. So sorry, please continue.
Yeah, sure. Can I just jump into the Title IX?
Absolutely. Oh yes.
So so I'm very struggling that being an umpire in Taiwan, and thanks to WBSC, I got some chance in the global tournament. So I will take every tournament or every game as my last game, because it's so difficult for me to get a chance. So so my chief umpire, even I got assigned by WBSC, my boss, my chief umpire just called me that asked me, do you want to give up by yourself, because WBSC assign you, but I really don't want you to go the tournament. So do you want to give up? So I have to turn him off that no, I don't want to give up. Yeah. So that's my standing in Taiwan. So I'm still struggling now. So you should be very proud of yourself as an American, because you didn't know what Title IX makes happens in Taiwan and also in Asia. Please read some my document in our chat box. I would like to introduce you the GSMP program, the Global Sports Mentoring Program. It is happens because of Title IX. So by the state government, they have the Global Sports Mentoring Program, empower women through sports. So every year for in these 10 years, every year, government select 17 girls go to enter in a sports organization in United States. So I was selected to as a mentee in NHL and through the organization. So after this program, I learned a lot. I learned the spirit, the value of sports. And I also, because, in Taiwan before, they always tell me that you are not special. Everyone doing umpire, so you are not the special one. But when I go to American, during the program, they told me the value of sports is not only about the golden medal. It's not only about win or lose. It's about how to make a person be a better one. And especially for women, sports can make us more confidence and also development of leadership. And I was a social work, and I was manager of food bank in Taiwan at that time. So I really know that's how sports make effects on me. So I want to do the same thing to other girls. So then I founded my own NGO. It's called the two of them. It is Taiwan Women's Sports Association to advocate the women's rights in sports, and also Sports Forward Association is helping the disabled and the women especially kids underprivileged. Yeah, so we have some. So far I have the PPT as well in the chat box. So we have many programs that we assist some softball and girls softball and baseball team, and we teach them the English, give them the consistent English class, because I know very well that if I don't speak English, I cannot make anything happen. So I tell these girls, if you want to learn your own way, you have to learn English. Your future will not only in this island. And also we have some girls baseball clinic, baseball women's and girls baseball camp just for girls, no men. And we invite the coaches and the instructor, all women, because we want the girls to see a role model. And we put the clinic in a professional league stadium, because I want to let them know they are worthy. Yeah, because it's also based on my experience, because they were told me that, Sophia, you just umpire the little kids game, you just go to the low level game, because you should be appreciated when then you be an umpire. So don't never about think to reach a higher level. Yeah, so I want to then those girls to know that you deserve it. You can go the stadium, even the professional one, you deserve it. And also I have some we have some program not only in Taiwan but also global, right? We provided the sport, because many girls stop to playing because of abroad. So we send it to other countries like India, Cambodia, Romania, Kenya, Cambodia, India as well. Yeah, it's about 11 so far. Yeah. So, and I also advocate in our Congress, in our parliament, to founded women's sports diplomacy committee, because it's so stressful. I'm so dismayed to talk to our baseball partners in Taiwan. So I talked to the government directly to ask them to make some law and the public budget to affect the law is friendly to our women, not only women baseball, but also the women's sports. So this all, how I know this and how I do this is based on Title IX. Yeah, because the Title IX created the GSM program, and I learned from GSMP. So very honored that in this June, it's the 50 year anniversary celebration. I was invited to reunite in state government and to share what we do so far. So next year I continue to advocate the women's sports, the importance in Taiwan. So we would have an international conference and also a global photo award. And the title is Women's Sports. Yeah, for the World of Warm. So I hope we can collaboration with the IOC.
We'll be talking, definitely.
Yeah, sure. And also the magazine.
Yeah. You are so impressive and have done so much with so little, Sophia. It's just incredibly moving to hear you speak of your experiences and understand how far you have come from, you know, your beginnings to where you are now. And I was going to ask you, is there any possibility, or do you have any desire to umpire in the Taiwanese professional league? Has anybody ever asked you, or is that not a possibility? Or I'm sort of surprised that you don't, or that nobody has.
Well, thank you for
I mean,
asking.
you're the mother. They call you the mother of baseball in Taiwan.
That's crazy.
You
You know,
are.
this title really makes a lot of people mad. They really don't like it. Thank you. Yes, I was invited to umpire the professional league about last month. The chief secretary of the CPBL asked me, do I want to do that? And I tell him that I always working on. I mean, I woke up about 6 a.m. this morning. I umpire 3 games today. So yeah, I still keep umpiring. So we will see what will happen. I will try my best.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Well, okay, that's great.
So I'll
anyway.
say again, thanks for your tax to pay us to a GSMP.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, that's one of the marvelous things about Title IX is the ripple effect that it's had worldwide. So thank you for pointing that out, how important it is, not just here in the United States, but other countries. Now, Alessia, are there any laws in Italy, anything like Title IX or any government funded programs that are similar to what Sophia is talking about, or what we know are programs, say in Canada and Australia, where the governments actually fund programs to draw girls to the diamond and give them training and provide them with uniforms and playing opportunities. Does Italy have anything like that?
No.
No, the short answer.
So waiting, no. Okay, I can defend my position. So unfortunately not. So in Italy, okay, basically, as I said, baseball and softball are minor sports. So, but for every sport, the world of sport and the world of school and university are completely separated. It means that you don't have scholarship because you are good in sport. It doesn't exist in Italy. I had the chance, as I said, to live in the United States, and I saw that you have scholarship for talented athletes, for being a university. But in Italy, the careers are separated. So if you are a good athlete, you need to do a lot of sacrifices to achieve sport achievement and also academic achievement. So we don't have scholarship for talented in sport. And so this is the reason, because I'm really surprised every time when when Italian athletes achieve I don't know, maybe they became world champions in some sport.
Hey, you gave us Mike Piazza.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no, okay, in baseball, but it's okay. But in baseball, we are not so good now, actually, as a national team. But
But are you improving? Have you noticed any improvement in the last?
No, we are decreasing our level, actually.
Oh, okay.
If you see the ranking of national teams. And also the number of people involved in baseball and in softball now is decreasing. Okay, there is also a reason related to COVID time, since many young people give up with sports during the COVID pandemic, since sports were forbidden basically for almost 2 years in Italy. So you couldn't do sport or games. So for almost 2 years, doing sport was very tough during the pandemic. So now the number of athletes that are involved in baseball and softball are decreased compared to some years ago.
Well, we'll
So,
have to
yeah.
work on getting those numbers back up. But you just got back from Mexico working a world baseball,
U15.
what is it, World Baseball Cup
Yeah, was the
event
U15
under
baseball
15.
Cup, under
And
15.
were you the only woman umpire there, or was there another?
No, I was, if I can share a picture. Sorry. Can I share a picture of,
I'm not sure.
yes,
I think you can
You
now.
should be able to, yeah.
okay,
Press the
now
little share button.
I try to do it. Okay.
Oh, cool.
If I can find, okay. Yes. Right. Okay, this is very interesting. Let me
Okay, yeah. See some
just
pictures
a
there.
moment. I want, yes, because I will show you a picture of me and some other baseball female umpire. Just a moment. Okay. Okay.
Who's the other woman there?
So this one, it's me. Okay. This one is Yurisa Iriarte from Mexico.
Oh,
Very,
okay.
very young umpire. She's 45, 24. So she has a future.
Looks good.
She's
Yeah.
Maite Bullones.
Oh, Maite,
You
but
know
yes,
her?
I remember.
Yes.
She's also
So,
very young, but
yeah.
well, so good, really excellent. Such polished
So
mechanics.
there was a game during the under 15 World Cup where we worked in three and a man. Okay, the man disappeared in the picture.
Love it. Love to see that.
We were 3 out of 4 worked on a game, and so WBSC wrote a post in Facebook, historical moment for international baseball, since 3 women worked on a game together. And so step by step, we are changing the world, the mentality. Okay, so step by step.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to see that. Because I always feel irritated that because there are still relatively few of us, even though our numbers are increasing, we still most of the time work by ourselves. We don't work with other women that much, and that when we do, the idea of it kind of flips out male assigners. I mean, they're scared of all that estrogen in one place. They don't want to put 2 women on the same crew, or 3 or 4. It happens so rarely. And yeah, I'm just so happy that happened for you, and that somebody had the cojones to assign 3 women to the same crew. And someday that'll be happening here in Major League Baseball. I have no doubt. So that's great. Now, Sophia, I would be remiss in not mentioning that you won the International Olympic Committee's highest award. It's, what is it called? The tell me, the Women in Sport Award. Yes.
Yep.
And that is based on not just your work as an umpire, but your work as a humanitarian and a leader. And very important of you to point out that umpiring has given you the confidence to overcome whatever shyness. And, I have to admit, I was not the outgoing, gregarious person I am now. Before I started umpiring, I joked that I was actually kind of shy and retiring, but I wasn't, aggressively spreading a message or, proselytizing or sharing my passions with anybody. And umpiring allowed me to bring that part of myself out and be happy and proud about it. And I get that from you too, and from every woman I've ever worked with, that it's the same, that umpiring instills a kind of confidence in us that may have been there before, but we didn't know how to utilize it. And umpiring has given us ways to learn how to utilize what was always within us. And that's so important for women to be able to do that, to successfully navigate things that happen on the ball field, as well as things that happen in our relationships and our daily lives with our relatives and our friends. So I've always felt that umpiring can have a very beneficial effect in all those areas, that it's not just, being able to tell a ball from a strike on the diamond, but being able to figure out in your mind how to process things that aren't that easy to process, or unpleasantness, or when people are upset all around you, or when things become chaotic. And we are basically the center of serenity in those settings. That's how I like to think of us. What we do out there is the center of serenity, and that we can have a calming effect when things start to ratchet up and get too much. Baseball, I like to see it run smoothly without all these bumps and blips and, arguments and stoppages. And I think, having worked and watched you work, that's the way you feel too. Most umpires do. We don't want to make a spectacle of ourselves. And you two are two of the best, that even though you, of course, stick out like sore thumbs, not just because you're women, but because you're so good. And you elevate the level of excellence of anybody that you work with. And that's what I love about working with other women, is that seeing that effect, that we bring out the good competitive spirit in all of our partners, not the ugly, stomp on you to get one step ahead type of competitiveness, but the good, like, hey, she's really great, I got to be better, because I want to keep up with her. And I just love that about the way you two umpire. So thank you for that. So now I'm going to ask both of you.
Perry,
yes.
Before you do the next question,
Sure.
I want to say that I totally agree with you, because I'm a principal on a school, so I have to make decision every day, every moment, and I always use my umpire mood when in my job, always. So when I think that a decision is the right one, I keep I keep going on it, and I'm an umpire every time. And just and then I leave the word to Sophie. If I can show you another picture that can be okay, did you see the picture?
Yes, I see the three.
Okay, yeah, this is me. I'm the home plate umpire.
Yes.
This is the final game of the 23 European qualifier.
Wow.
Last August, maybe 1 month ago. And I was the home plate umpire in the final game. So you can see I'm the little one.
Yeah.
the more little person in the field. So that I have what I would like to say, if even if you are little, so you can still be a good umpire, but you have to know your strengths your weaknesses, of course. So I based my umpiring in a strong knowledge of rule. This is very important.
Of
If
course.
players and coaches, they can rely on you, and they know that they can rely on you in the for rule. So you know, you can umpire with serenity, as you said. Then so strong knowledge of rule, also physical training. So I'm trained running and be focused on game, and good communication. This is important. The way how you communicate with the players and coaches and colleagues too. Because, you know, colleagues are not always happy if you are home plate umpire in the final. While you
Tell
are
me
the
about it.
only women in the umpire crew. So you need to be okay. So you need to demonstrate that you are there because you deserve this position, but you need to be a good communicator for
Exactly.
everyone. Okay,
And-
so this is what I want to add to your the description of the umpire job.
Thank you. Well, one of my enduring images of you, Alessia, is of sitting in the dressing room after a game, and our supervisor Gus came in and was talking to one of the, I think the Japanese umpire, who was having a hard time understanding his Spanish, and you said, "I will explain to her," and somehow you managed to translate from Spanish to Italian to Japanese. And if that isn't great communicating, I don't know what is. So it was just wonderful working with you and seeing you do that. So, and yeah, thank you for pointing out that it's very important to remember that what we do out there inspires other women and girls, and makes them think a little more broadly about life and their own lives and what they want to do. And, you know, it's the ripple effect that we were talking about, and it's just really important. So what is it exactly about umpiring that keeps you engaged? And I mean, I've been umpiring for 42 years, and I tell people I love it as much as the day I first walked onto a field, because there's something new about it every game, and it doesn't matter what age level I'm working with. It's always just a joy, and it makes me focus for 2 or 3 hours. I don't want to say it takes me away from the rest of the world, but it makes me focus on what is right in front of me. It makes me be present and of what's going on right in front of me and all around me. I call it being one with the baseball. And to me, that's just the best feeling in the world. And it's what keeps me out there, why I'm still working I'm going to be 70 next year, and it'll be my 43rd season. And people say, well, when are you going to quit? And I'm like, why should I? As long as I'm ambulatory and, can umpire rings around guys half my age, I'm going to be out there. And so what is it about umpiring that excites you or fills you with, romantic notions like it does me? Sophia, you want to go first?
Yeah. Okay, for me, I just love to stay in the game. Yeah, maybe just like you, I love the grass, I love the bat, I love the smile of the grass, the dirt. Yeah, I just love it. And
it's a very sensory experience, everything about it. All your senses are engaged fully.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and also I think maybe because I'm the social worker, so I think the kids just need a fair game. I want to do something for a game. And baseball bring me so much joyful, good memory, everything make me a better person. And being umpire is the thing that I think I can contribute what I love. Yeah.
So it's a very symbiotic relationship, because you derive such pleasure from it, and you give it back and share it with so many other people in so many ways. So yeah, thank you for that. How about you, Alessia?
Okay, so in Italy, women cannot play baseball after 12 years. So
Oh, like
since,
it used to be here before Little League.
yeah. So until 12, you can play baseball with, of course, with boys.
Mhm.
So boys and girls can play together. But after 12, a woman, a girl, need to decide if stop to play or play softball.
Huh.
So maybe because the number of players are not so high. So, you know, if women start play baseball, softball will decrease. And so maybe the federation try to protect softball for decreasing the players, avoiding women to play baseball. So in Italy,
I didn't know that there was no baseball for girls there, because it seems that baseball is exploding in a lot of other European countries, France.
Yeah, I know, because for example, in the U15 World Cup, Czech Republic has one woman on the field, and she was very talented. She was maybe number 2 in the lineup for all the tournament. So she was a very talented player. And also in the U23, under 23, in Ljubljana, Slovenia, that I had the qualifier, the Ukraine team from Ukraine has a woman.
Yeah, Ukraine, Slava Ukraine.
Yeah. So we were surprised that they could come, but they could. And so they played the final game, actually. But the reason I mention it is because they had women on a woman on the field, and I asked her, and she told me that in Ukraine they can play baseball if they want. So women can play baseball. So in Italy you can't. So I played softball in my youngness. Okay. So when I stopped to play in a agonistic way, you can say, because now I'm still playing softball in a co-ed team, in an amateur team. And I started to umpire softball at the very beginning, but I didn't like so much. Then when I saw my first baseball game in Italy, I was already 22. So this is, as I told you, baseball, it's not a sport that you can watch easily. So I watched my first baseball game at 22, when I was 22, in a stadium, in a ballpark in Italy. And it was love at first sight. I said, okay. And then the day after, they called me for umpiring a tournament for young people, and I started to umpire baseball in that moment, and I never stopped. And every time I'm in a baseball field, I feel that I'm in the right way, in the right place, in the right time. So it's like, I don't know, it's a feeling I cannot explain.
Yes,
like in comfort.
It's a feeling.
In a baseball field.
It's a very Zen experience. And it's not just when things are going right. It's sometimes when things are becoming chaotic very quickly. And I'm sure you and Sophia, we have all learned how to take charge and distill all that vitriol and hostility and, you know, free traveling testosterone, and just ratchet everything down so that everything gets back on track instead of exploding and then having to eject, 2 or 3 players and then write reports about it, which is, none of us likes to do. So yeah.
And Perry, another thing that I would like to add is the relationship during the game with your colleagues. Your colleagues, umpire colleagues, are your major resource.
Yes.
For you is and when start the game in the pre-game, the pre-game in the locker room.
Yes.
Because the colleagues are always men in Italy. I'm the only woman umpire in this moment in Italy.
Wow.
So in the first series. So every time I have men in the locker room, and I say, if after the game the teams we think that we are married, so it means that we did a great job.
Love it. Oh, we have to put up with such bull. I know. I've been married at least 200 times and had, multiple babies of my partners over the years. So
of course, married in a good way. So
yes, yeah. So, okay. So we're getting close to 1 o'clock, and I think we have until 1:15. Is that right, Jessica? So I want to save a few minutes for questions because I'm sure people are very curious. So before we get to the Q&A, I'd just like to ask each of you, what do you think that people here listening now can do to help us as women umpires get the message out to other women and girls that umpiring is now an activity that is welcoming to women and that is so valuable in terms of what it can impart to anybody who, gets out there and starts doing it, as well as what you can derive from it, which I said are all these, life lessons about how to navigate rocky relationships and, excitable moments in the timeline of life. So what would you tell people that are listening to us right now, what they can do to help spread the word, get the message out, spread the gospel of umpiring, to get more girls and women to the diamond, even in your country, Alessia, but wherever you are, because of course everybody has a worldwide platform now on social media, and every little bit helps. So what would you say, Sophiyah? What can people do to help? Other than read your material that you so kindly provided, which I've looked at, and it's very impressive. And I definitely want to be at your festival next year. So
cool. Yeah. I think the media and education is the most important thing that we can do right now. So the Title IX World Global Affairs book is published by University of Tennessee. So I think you can get it in States.
What is the name of it again? Title IX what?
I show you the book cover in the chat box. Okay.
Thank you. Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
And there are two stories about basketball girls. Yeah, in Taiwan, and the other one is Mexico. Yeah, so.
And you have written a book yourself. You wrote a book. I have it.
But that was in Mandarin. That was in Mandarin, not in English. This one is in English. So I think that's very important that through the media and the education. So when we talking about education, because I already believe in education, because these girls, young girls, they are our future. So I have some girls baseball camps that I say earlier, and also I developed some baseball, some sports teaching material, but not only in baseball, but also in other sports, and talking about the bullying, talking about sexual assault, and something like that. So I will see I have some material already translated into English. So I will see how I can provide to you later, because the file is kind of big, so I cannot pass it. And also in Taiwan, we publish the Women in Sports Asia magazines. So I already bring you the link of our second edition. So our third edition will be published in next month, and I also wrote, me and my friend, we wrote a women umpire story in U12 this year in Taiwan, Tainan. There are 3 female baseball umpire. Unfortunately, I cannot be one of them, but I'm willing to write a story for them. So this is the magazine to spread the word. And also we will have a women in sports and photo award, because in this daily life the social media is very active and people not reading anymore. So I believe that the photo is every photo is a story. So through social media, these good photos that especially in women baseball, women umpires, to spread the word. I think that is the best role model for the girls and also boys as well.
Yes.
So yeah, so those photos we also plan to, after the photo award, we will select the good photos and publish into the book. But also we will around our school to show the photo and the story behind the photo. So I think to show the students, the kids, about the beauty of sports, especially of women. Yeah, that is my plan, ongoing plan right now. So we also need your good photo in women baseball, not only players, but also coaches, journalists, and also umpires.
Hey, we're all part of the same family. And
yeah.
So Alessia, yeah, you've got a family too, and whatever we can do to help you get those numbers back up in Italy, please let us know. What can we do? Can we write to the government, or?
Yes, if now that I heard from Sophie that Title IX started a relationship within Taiwan and United States for empowering women in sport, we can try to see if the same can be done in Italy too, because I totally agree with Sophie that empowering women in sport could be the first step for empowering women in the other the other part of the life, in job, in politics, and so on. If you think that in Italy we have a law that made the number of women in a list for election mandatory, since we had in the parliament such a few women in the politics. So now there is a law that in a list for political election, you have to put one man, women, men, women, men, women. Otherwise, women had no representation in the parliament in Italy. That is, of course, a Western country, but the glass ceiling, you know what I mean with the glass ceiling. So it exists for real. So maybe man cannot has a perspective of this. But if you are women that want to achieve a position in work or in sport or in politics, you will I don't know the word in English, with the glass ceiling.
Be banging your head against a brick wall.
Okay.
Basically.
So, so I think that empowering women in sport, maybe it's easier that empowering women in politics, so or in work or in the job career. So maybe the first step for empowering women in general. And as the title of the book, I completely agree with the title. Strong women, better world. I completely agree with this. This is the only chance of the world, not the only.
I definitely
chance
want to
for
talk to you
women.
about. I definitely want to talk to you about getting to ending that restriction on girls not being able to play baseball after age 12, because it happened here in the United States. So there's no reason why it can't happen there. And yeah, there are steps we can take to change that. And that will, I think, help it grow. It'll just have a, very beneficial effect on the numbers. So. All right, so social media, reaching out, networking, using pictures and photographs to transmit the feelings of joy and satisfaction that we get from it. Those are all things that anybody here can do to help. And I think mostly just be nice to umpires, everybody. You see that we're all human and we're just regular people trying to do our best out there. And thank you, everybody, so much for being here and hearing Alessia's and Sophiyah's stories, which are so remarkable. And I'm just so grateful for both of you being here. And I see we have about 10 minutes. So does anybody have any questions for either Alessia or Sophiyah or me?
There was a question earlier asking how much change over time have you seen relative to player and public acceptance of you as an umpire, not including during women's games?
Well, for me, a lot. Because I've been umpiring so long when there were so few women working as umpires. So we immediately aroused a lot of suspicion and contempt. And it was very hard to establish myself because I, like with you, and but I kept going, found games to umpire, that people would let me umpire, and just kept working. And we persevere. We're very persistent. When somebody says no, we find some other door, somebody else that says, well, okay, I'll give you a shot and see what happens. And then, of course, we always make the most of that shot and wind up taking over the whole company a year later. So, how about you, Alessia and Sophiyah?
Okay, so I started to umpire baseball 25 years ago. So now in Italy, I'm pretty well known. I'm in the first series. So the world of baseball in Italy, it's not so huge, it's little. We basically know each other, not in person maybe, but everyone in Italy knows that in the baseball world, of course, that I'm an umpire, experienced umpire. So when now the players that I used to umpire when I was 25, now they are coaches. So we grew up together. We literally grew up together in the baseball fields. So now I don't have so many problems in umpiring to be in being accepted in baseball world, because I'm well known in the baseball world in Italy. But
because you were brave enough to take that step and become the first and still the only. And
yeah, no,
none of us really wants to be that, but bless you for taking that upon yourself. It's
yeah,
not
but during these 25 years that I'm umpiring, there were some other women that tried to umpire baseball, but some of them give up for softball, and some of them give up, and that's enough.
Entirely.
So, yeah, entirely. So that means that the glass ceiling is still on, and we have to try to push it and
You're poking holes in it.
broke it.
You're poking holes in it.
To break it, yes. Well, but one punch at a time. Okay, we need time to do this.
So Sophia, what changes have you seen? Anything positive in Taiwan, or things have stayed the same or slid backward, or what's going on over there?
Yeah, actually, I think I'm very lucky to be in Taiwanese, because Taiwan is about the women's rights. We probably the rank highest in Asia, and also Asia Pacific. We have the gay legalized marriage as well. So in the public, the gender equality is pretty nice. In our government, the Congress, they are 42% are women.
Okay.
So yeah, so for me, but in baseball environment, it was very difficult. So my way is looking for the public and also our Congress, because they have the sense of gender equality. I ask them to push the baseball to move on. This is my strategy, because in baseball itself in Taiwan is very tough. But thanks to American again, I was very lucky that I got sponsored by Yankees for my gear. So the media noticed me, and also All-Star sponsored me to the umpire school. So this all makes me more confident and the ability to umpire, not only umpire, but also to prove that women can do our job, right? So,
yes, and your brief reference to having gone to umpire school in Florida, I can't tell you how. I mean, I still get goosebumps thinking about it, because I know you may not want to talk about it, and I apologize for bringing it up if it's an unpleasant subject, but you were treated very badly at that umpire school. And that was the year that that school was actually decertified and lost its partnership with Major League Baseball because of conduct that was demonstrated by the instructors. And part of that, of course, extended towards the way that they do while you were there, which still makes my blood boil, frankly. And in Harry Wendelstedt's defense, and Hunter Wendelstedt's, who's now running, that's the other umpire school, which I attended in 1982. Back then, I never was treated badly at that school. I may have been, held in, sort of semi-contempt in private, but, in school, out in public, I was always treated with respect and, the way I wanted to be, as just another student. But you experienced something very, very different from that. And it led to an excellent change that had been very much needed, which now this year umpiring has taken an even bigger step forward and totally changed the way that they are now going to recruit umpires that wind up at umpire school, which is the pool from which umpiring candidates are drawn to go into minor league baseball here and then progress to the major leagues. So it's it's a huge step forward, because the supervisors are going to be focusing on drawing much more qualified, talented candidates with the aptitude that they need. Until last year, they would just take anybody that showed up with the time and the money. And of course, that wasn't you, Sophia, because you had a lot of talent to begin with, and you wanted to polish your skills and go back to Taiwan. And they knew that. And to, explain that their treatment of you was because they wanted to toughen you up when you're already one of the toughest people I know, was just a lot of baloney. And it was a good thing that that happened, that was brought to light, and that now the attitudes shown towards the students at umpire school are no longer teaching them to hold women in contempt and to view us as women who are taking away jobs from a more deserving man. And that, I think, is a very important motif too, to emphasize over and over again, that Title IX and us being women umpires is not a zero-sum game. We are not depriving a man of an opportunity or a chance to be on a team or a chance to umpire a game by our also competing for those same spots. What we are doing is inspiring men to work harder and to show better judgment and to, try to keep up with us, because we have to set the standard out there. Otherwise, we wouldn't last. And that's obvious because, we are the focus of all the eyes and the criticism out there just by virtue of us being women. And the strength of character that you two have shown over and over again by persevering and creating opportunities when none existed, and dreaming of more, not just for yourselves but for other girls and women coming down the line, is just so important. And I'm so grateful to both of you for doing that. I love you, and I feel so lucky to have you as friends and partners. And okay, I'm starting to get a little verklempt here. So anybody else have a question or a comment? Did anybody else have anything to ask about? Oh, thanks, Marlene. Appreciate the support. And thank you, everybody, for being here. It's 1:14, and I think our time is drawing to a close. And Alessia and Sophia, you are just so wonderful, and I'm so thankful to be able to work with you and say you are my partners as well as my idols. And hope we all get together sometime soon. And no arm breaking, Sophia. We'll all be out there working together and having a great time, and hopefully reminding people that umpiring is not drudgery. It's not getting yelled at. It's fun. And it's just such a mind-blowing thing to do out there, to have to make those split-second decisions and feel so great about it, when you get it right, which of course for us is always, we never get them wrong out there. So yeah, umpiring is just the best. And I can't thank you enough, both of you, for being here and for spreading that.
There is a title of a book that perfectly describes this feeling: the best seat of the game, but you have to stay.
Yes, the title of best
when
seat
you are
in the house,
umpire,
but
you definitely have the best seat of the game, but you have to stay. You cannot go
right.
out there. So thank you very
Right.
much for. Thank you very much, Perry. Thank you for all the organization that invite me and Sophie. And every time you want to have a confrontation, discussion about baseball umpiring, I'm completely
Available.
Available. Okay.
Thank you,
difficult.
Alessia.
Okay.
And you say that, but I know you have a very busy schedule, so I'll check in with you and we'll work it out. And yeah, I'll be talking to you about helping get that 12-year-old restriction lifted. So, and thank you for staying up, Sophia. What is it? It's now almost 1:30 in the morning where you are. So do you have work tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, so
No, I want to say I'm so happy to participate. You make me not that I'm not alone, and especially thanks to Perry, because you're long time hard work. I know I have a role model in the United States. I have Title IX. That is life. You make my life difference in Taiwan. That's the another side of the planet, but we made. And you inspired me, and you American, you Title IX, change a lot Taiwan and the Asia Pacific girls.
All right,
you.
well, here's to many more chances to work together, and we are family. So thanks, everybody. Really appreciate your being here and staying for all of this.